Talk about guys that are having great seasons. We threw out the graphic earlier of Don Narcisse in his 8th 1,000-yard season. That ties CFL record for 1,000-yard seasons, and of course ties with Ray Elgart, former teammate, and the guy he passed for catches all time. I mean, look at his career. All-time leader in catches. He's going to be close in yardage if he can continue to play, and he wants to play next year, so it'll be between him and Pitts for first place on that one.
On the handoff and up across the 40-yard line. And actually now his 195th game, and all of them with at least a catch, and that breaks a tie. It was tied at 11th spot in the all-time Saskatchewan Rough Rider list. You know who was tied with him for games played?
I don't.
I'll relieve the pressure here. It was Glenn Suter. So Suter's been bumped back to 12th all-time in games played, and Narcisse has got 11th spot all by himself and climbing the ladder. How much longer can he play?
Well, he wants to play next year, and when you get to that age, it's year by year, no question about it. In fact, it becomes game by game, but Don Narcisse says he'd like to play next year for sure.
Sarkisian has the time, flag in the play. It's complete. Larry Thompson with it. A gain of 10 yards. It would be a first down. But as mentioned, a flag is down.
Well, Sarkisian has had lots of time to throw the football. He's been going to third and fourth read on the play.
Saskatchewan 59. First down repeated.
The center, James Monroe, called for holding, so it's all for naught.
And maybe that's part of the reason, because they're doing a little bit of holding up front. James Monroe is the center right there. Working on Dave Chaters to the outside. Once you get turned like that, it's pretty much impossible. That looked like a good tackle in the open field.
Pushes Saskatchewan to the BC 49. And a 1st and 20. Riders trailing by 7. Near quarter time. Complete to Rick Walters. He gets a bit of it back, but not much. About 4 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 16. The clock counting down to zeros. It's BC leading Saskatchewan after 3 by 7. Let's head back to the studio on Adidas Friday Night Football.
You're watching Adidas Friday Night Football, and we're at the quarter.
All right, welcome back to TSN Football Control. You know, we watched BC several weeks early in the season. Their offense was absolutely anemic. The last few weeks, they have moved the ball very consistently, including tonight. And I bet you, Chris Schultz, you can give me one good reason for that.
Well, one good reason is Juwan Johnson. I mean, this 6'1", 250-pound running back from Utah is remarkable. And quietly, in some sense, he has 5 100-yard games. He has 114 yards tonight. And he has that Mike Pringle ability to accelerate right to the line of scrimmage and run hard through the nasty area in between the tackles. And when you look at BC getting Robert Drummond back quickly, what a great slot back Robert Drummond would make in isolating a linebacker. The Lions have done a 360 in their offensive philosophy. They used to have Smurf speed. Now they play smash mouth football, and more than anything else, Eric, that has helped Damon Allen.
Yeah, but let's give Saskatchewan some credit too, Chris. I mean, they have really hung tough tonight, particularly with Reggie Slack out of the lineup. Jim Daly told me earlier in the week for his team to make a run at this thing, they were going to have big improvement in the return game. And Curtis Mayfield's just been outstanding. But we're at the point of the season that there's no room for moral victories. They have to win tonight. As Rod pointed out, with a loss tonight, they lose the tiebreaker to the BC Lions. So it's a must-win for Saskatchewan, James.
All right, and they're down by 7 with 1 quarter to go. 15 minutes left in this one. Let's send you back to BC. Here are Rod Smith and Glenn Suter. Take it away, guys.
All right, thank you, James. As you look at Greg Mons and the possibilities you guys were talking about, especially with a win tonight of a playoff spot, I wonder what if. I don't think he took over this job thinking he'd be around very long as a head coach.
No, he didn't. When he took over the job, in fact, he said right away that he didn't want the job next year, that he was just going to take over in the interim. He was asked by David Braley and, in fact, Adam Rita to take over the job, and he's agreed to it. But now I'm hearing rumors that he is thinking about next year and the possibility of being on the sideline as the head coach. Kind of enjoys this thing, especially when you're winning.
Especially when you got a guy that can fill in for Robert Drummond like Juwan Johnson. And James and Eric and Chris talking about the remarkable job that he has been able to do with Robert Drummond standing in civilians and not able to play, and obviously frustrated by it, but they haven't missed a beat in their ground game.
No, and it'll be a nice situation for the Lions when they do get them both back. So Eric Tillman, I believe it was, talking about Robert Drummond being the wide receiver or slot back and running on linebackers, and he has done that. He did that in Toronto, and that'll be a great 1-2 punch for the BC Lions when Drummond gets back next week.
It is 2nd and 17 after a short gain by Rick Walters. And this is where they start with a sack. A BC sack. It is Herman Smith. He takes Sarkisian down at midfield, and the Riders will be punting.
Well, Sarkisian had been taking a lot of time to throw the football. I talked about him going to his 2nd and 3rd reads. This time he takes obviously a little bit too long. But Castle Nelson coming on the blitz, he was picked up, but Herman Smith won his one-on-one battle up front and got back in the backfield.
A loss of 7 yards on the 2nd sack of the evening for the BC Lions. It worked very well, especially up front in this game. And Paul McCallum will kick it away from his 45. And Rod Harris is the only one back. He takes it at his 10. Harris, he's had some good returns. And he also scored a touchdown not long ago, late in the 3rd, to give BC the lead again. And speaking of that 3rd quarter, through 3, you look at the numbers now, and BC's got the 7-point lead. Interesting looking at the passing and the rushing stats.
Well, both teams are running the ball quite well. We talked a lot about Juan Johnson. Mike Saunders having a pretty good night. Time of possession even. That's the type of game we expected it to be.
And Johnson with another 100-yard game, his 5th in the last 6 weeks. First down, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, but they hand off to Johnson. Picks up a few yards over the right side.
You know, it's not that big a surprise that the BC Lions are having success running the football. Coming into this game, they've had the success of Juan Johnson to sort of carry them. We talked about him in the last 2 games rushing for 231 yards. And plus, Greg Mons knows that when he looks across at that Saskatchewan defense, statistically, they're last in the league against the rush, giving up about 120 yards per game. So you knew that would be in the game plan.
Passing situation now, though, on 2nd and 7. Play action fake. Pressure on Allen. Spicer nearly got to him, but Allen gets away and nearly picks up a first down. He is close to the 40-yard line. He needed to get across the 40 to get the first down. It'll be very close. Gain of 6 yards.
Well, the BC punt team was starting to walk on the field, but I'm not so sure it might be close enough for the gamble. A little play action fake in the middle, and then Damon Allen gets to the outside on Paul Spicer. Bit of open area out there, and they're going to be about a half a yard short by the looks of it. So Greg Mons will have to come up with a decision here as to whether or not he wants to go for it, and I think he'll gamble.
I thought as he went down, he was closer than the spot. I thought he'd be about a half yard closer to a first down. That is...
Well, you can't get much better look at it than that. There's the 3rd down marker. There's the what they need for the first down.
It really is a full yard. It's
about the width of that referee.
And there it is at the 39-yard line. Greg Mons is gambling with a 7-point lead. Johnson up and over, and a first down BC. The sticks will move.
You know, as a coach, it's nice. It's nice when you have a running game that is working and clicking, and you have a tailback that you believe in and trust, because that way you can turn around and hand the ball off on 3rd down gambles. This is always a concern. When you turn around and hand the ball off, you're giving it 2 yards deep in the backfield. If the defensive line get any penetration at all, you can get stoned and lose the football. But when you have confidence in your running back, you can turn around and do it. Juan Johnson comes up big again.
Gain of 6 yards up to the BC 45, first down. We're in the 4th quarter. Damon Allen. Incomplete. He wanted Alfred Jackson. Good coverage there by Todd McMillan. It goes out of bounds.
Well, it was good coverage. Todd McMillan has been battling with Alfred Jackson and won some of those battles. You know, Todd McMillan had to make a decision coming into the season as to whether or not he wanted to play football again. The decision was between playing football or being a model. He got a call from a modeling agency in Paris.
It's an interesting variety of choices.
Yeah, and he had to make a decision. Do I go to Paris and be a model, or do I play football? He decided on football, and in one game he got gashed in the eye. He ran right to the mirror after the game to see if he was cut.
The ball is batted at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. Somebody got their hands on it up front, but I'm just wondering with a choice like that,
Well, you know, I mean, he's a good-looking guy. Not that I noticed that kind of stuff, but there he is. You know, Todd McMillan is deciding whether or not to go to Paris. He got that little cut under his eye, or he got hit in the eye, and he ran right after the game to the mirror. Of course, he hasn't heard the end of that from his teammates.
We're talking about a football locker room here. I mean, think back to your playing days. What sort of a razzing would a guy take for running and looking in the mirror after that?
Relentless.
The punt by Pasaglia. And Tyrell Elmer back at his 20. And going to his left, runs into Curtis Mayfield, and then a couple of Lions take him down. After a 45-yard punt, it ends up being no return at all. Greg Mines will watch his BC offense go to work again with a 7-point lead. Halloween night. It's the Lions and Stamps. Ooh, scary. 604-589 Roar if you want some tickets. Let's head down to David Pratt with his twin brother. Hey, Dave.
Thank you for that, Rod. Yeah, with a very special guest. We're talking about the Pumpkin Bowl here October the 31st, right? Now, let me get this straight. It's the BC Lions, the Calgary Stampeders. And kids under 12, they get in free with a paid adult, all right? And you would be a personal friend of John Gallagher? That's what I thought, yeah. Back to you guys.
Thank you, David. Insightful and entertaining to boot. And Glenn, I just got to ask you, who's the scarier looking one?
Well, I was going to say the only reason we knew it was David Price because he was holding the microphone.
Oh, my goodness. Don't do it. Well, now that I think about it, just kidding you, big guy. Gain of 15 there. Oh, yeah. A prelude to a dramatic evening. Halloween night at BC Place. Curtis Mayfield with the catch, and they move the stick. Saskatchewan with the football, trailing by 7 with 10:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Play action fake. Steve Sarkisian, the quarterback. Oh, nearly picked off. Good play by Steve Muhammad, the rookie, to get in front of Donald Narcisse.
Well, I mean, Juan Johnson or Steve Muhammad, Rookie of the Year, we talked about many times. They're going with the blitz, so you know they're in man-to-man coverage. Sarkisian wants to go to his best route runner, which is Don Narcisse, who tries to use a little stutter step and a push-off, but Muhammad says, you're going to need more than that. Breaks on the ball and knocks it down.
And then taps his helmet thinking, I could have had a pick. And what a big interception it would have been.
He's moving right, Mark's moving.
Sarkisian. Obvious throwing situation. He's got Rick Walters in traffic. And a first down for the Riders.
The only reason that Sarkisian had a chance to deliver this football is because he had lots of time up front, and it allowed Rick Walters to find the second hole in the zone defense. They're called windows, and as guys start running across, they go in the first window. If that's not there, they go into the next window. Because Sarkisian had so much time, Rick Walters got into that second window and got the first down.
Without question, the green and white is missing Reggie Slack, but you look at those numbers by Sarkisian. 12 for 18 with a TD and no picks. Not bad. Shovel pass. Inside, Mike Saunders. And a good gain across midfield, about 5 yards.
Well, it's huge when you think about it, because if your starting quarterback goes down, maybe with the exception of the Calgary Stampeders situation, but when your starting quarterback goes down, you just want your backup to give you an opportunity to win the football game. And with Reggie Slack on the sideline with a hip pointer, and he won't return, Sarkisian is giving the Saskatchewan Roughriders a chance to win this football game.
Slack was injured about midway through the second quarter. And Sarkisian's first drive, he took Saskatchewan downfield, hit Mike Saunders for a 10-yard touchdown. Under pressure, dumps it off, flag on the play. Saunders with the ball, won't get the first down anyway. And that flag was dropped as Sarkisian got it away in the Saskatchewan backfield. Turns out to be a loss of 2 yards on the play.
Holding, 52 Saskatchewan, that's declined. Third down.
No reason at all to take that penalty with a loss of 2 yards, so the Riders have to kick it away again.
Well, Ben Fairbrother gets the holding call, but, you know, in fairness to the offensive line of Saskatchewan, they did their job. They gave Sarkisian lots of time to throw the football, but that's going to break down after a while. The coverage downfield by the Lions was just too tight.
Getting close to the midway point of this fourth quarter. And there had been good surges of offense throughout this game, but things have calmed down a little bit now, and a bit of concern for Saskatchewan. And what amounts to a very critical game. The punt by McCallum to Rod Harris. Slips a bit, stays on his feet. Oh, he's had a great day returning that football. Rod Harris across midfield. And BC's in business again with great field position. Lions with the ball. Lions with the lead on a 36-yard return. Welcome back to BC Place. And another good return by Rod Harris, Glenn.
Wow, he's been doing it all night. Rod Harris breaks up there. First, a nice job to catch the ball. He gets all the way back, and then it's one-on-one with the kicker. Paul McCallum, and a little trip gets him, but to get that, watch the little dance McCallum has to do. Little left, little right, cha-cha-cha, and then the trip. This is, I mean, that's, look at this dance.
Oh, I have a feeling we'll be hearing from Mr. McCallum later on for that nice little bit of work.
Oh, boy.
Well, it wasn't a clinic on punt cover, but
he got him down.
He did. He slowed him down enough anyway, and punters are always meant to be the last resource there. That's intended for Alfred Jackson.
Well, that, you know, you've heard the impression, the expression happy feet. Well, that was happy feet by Paul McCallum. That was ecstatic feet by Paul McCallum. But hey, he did the job. He got him down. And you know what? They're going to have fun with that one in the game film. I can guarantee you that. If they win. It's only fun in films if you win.
He'll be hearing from his teammates, and then you'll be hearing from him. Or maybe I'll be hearing from him. What's the big idea? Out of the shotgun on second down, Damon Allen steps up. Watch Eddie Brown. Has him. First down, BC, inside the Saskatchewan 30.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders were coming with the all-out blitz. Gary Rogers up the middle, Vincent Donaldson off the edge. Well blocked by BC. That gives Allen time to step up and throw a strike to Eddie Brown to the outside. Watch Vincent Donaldson, number 24, coming, and here comes, guess who? Rod Harris with the perfect cut block. He's returning the football for the Lions and coming up big blocking for Damon Allen.
Big first down, BC again. Oh, this guy's in business again. Juan Johnson. What a great day of running the ball as he takes it inside the 20.
You know, we talked about Rod Harris making a statement that his career is far from over, and you know, he really hits it home when he does what he does on the return game and blocking. I mean, here is that great block again by Harris on Vincent Donaldson. This isn't fun. The fun part of the game for a receiver is catching the football, not going in there with your ribs exposed and knocking out a defensive back. That's not fun, but you got to do it, and Rod Harris has stepped up and done a nice job.
On the carry by Juan Johnson, close to 10 yards. You look at Rod Harris again. Sticks come out. Very close to 10 yards, but just a couple of inches shy. This has been a better game for Damon Allen and more enjoyable for Greg Mons, who's hoping to get a 3-game winning streak put together after losing the first 3 when he took over for Adam Rita as head coach of this team. Saskatchewan trying to get a man off as they blow the whistle. Trying to make a substitution. Tyrell Ulmer trying to get off the field, and now he's angry. He's got to come back on.
Well,
Vincent Donaldson coming in.
Yeah, you know, Rod, when they talk about the players of the week in the CFL, they have an offensive, a defensive, and a lineman. You know, it's almost too bad they don't have a special teams player, because, you know, Rod Harris has had a tremendous game. I mean, right now, at this point, 116 yards in punt returns, 75 yards in kickoff returns.
And moving up the ladder in combined yardage, Rod Harris has been. In fact, 6th in combined yardage, and he got a late start to this. Of course, the overwhelming leader is Eric Blunt of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, having an outstanding year in that department. Special teams. On short yardage, Damon Allen keeps. And Damon Allen gets the first down. But what's so interesting with Rod Harris is, as far as kick returns go, BC had a much different plan to start the season. They had Jimmy the Jet Cunningham. They had Al Shipman. These were the guys that were going to be bringing back the football. And certainly what Harris has done has been a big factor for the BC Lions as we look at the game story, brought to you by the Keg Steakhouse and Bar for great steaks. Good friends. See you tonight.
Yeah, tailback's doing a great job running the football. Slack injured early in the second quarter. Damon Allen have a nice game, and honorable mention to Rod Harris.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Johnson. They faked it to him beautifully. Faked us out. Damon Allen carries close to first down yardage inside the 10. Gain of 17.
This is like a flashback to the Damon Allen that played with the Edmonton Eskimos a few years back. The old play action Sally ran naked bootleg to the outside, and look at that. Camera thought Ron Johnson had the ball, faked out our cameraman, got to the outside and faked out the rest of the Saskatchewan defense as well, so our cameraman doesn't have to feel bad.
There was a flag in the play, excuse me, it was a gain of 7 yards.
Major foul, face mask, Saskatchewan 24.
Oh, but you can start to tack on the yardage now.
Benson Donaldson nailed there. Benson Donaldson, who played the dime for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, has for the last 3 games, with Mario Smith playing the safety and doing a nice job from that position. That's one name we haven't heard actually throughout this game, but Benson Donaldson gets called on the face mask on that play.
And Shannon Garrett and Tyrell Ulmer come out, and Colin Scrivener and Dan Rashovich come in. The bigger guys, of course, were down to short yardage with a 1st and 5. BC will have 3 cracks to get it into the end zone and increase their lead at a critical point of this game. 5:44 in the clock here in the 4th quarter. Lions 21, Saskatchewan 14. Allen fakes the handoff, dumps it over, touchdown! Hey!
There it is!
Mo Alawanibi.
Rod, you talked about it early in the game. It looked like he was releasing for a pattern early in the first half, and I thought, no, you're not going to have Mo Alawanibi running too many patterns. Well, okay. I have been proven wrong.
A 4-yard touchdown for big Mo Alawanibi. One for the trophy case.
Here he is over here. He's going to come all the way across the formation. Look at this. A little bit of motion. That looks pretty good. Gets to the outside. Play action pass. And hey, you can't see the football in there. It kind of disappeared for a minute, but he's in the end zone.
The only disappointment for him is he didn't get to turn around and hit somebody after he got the ball. He was clear, wide open. Fooled the Riders on that one, and they're in a lot more trouble now as Louis Pasaglia will try to make this a 14-point lead. With a chance at Lou, Pasaglia does it again, and there you see the pole climber on his way going up. Touchdown BC from the most unlikely of sources. Damon Allen to Mo Alawanibi. This is Adidas Friday Night Football on TSN. Linebackers and DBs around the CFL, beware. Big Mo is on the loose, and he's got his team a 14-point lead.
Well, they don't get interviewed very often, but he's going to do one if he catches a touchdown pass. Here it is, right out in the flat. Mo Alawanibi high step and comes up with the nice hands. Little bit of a touchdown dance celebration, and you're right, defensive backs, beware. There is a new weapon in BC.
Alawanibi had some time in the National Football League, graduated from Brigham Young University.
Well, you know, he's a great athlete. I mean, he's a guy that in '86 was drafted as a goalie by the Vancouver 86ers soccer team.
So the Riders in a hole now, thanks to the touchdown by Alawanibi. Curtis Mayfield on the return, getting up to his 40, taken down there by Brett Anderson and Steve Mohammedan on the tackle. A 24-yard return.